Welcome to Vintage Burn. This is Kev. All right, well, and
That's the best you're gonna get.
yeah, this is going to be a opinionated pit segment, and we're just going to talk about all of the wonders and releases in the rock and metal world.
The future of concert going activity.
Yeah, shows, how-tos,
And how don'ts.
how nots,
What to do,
what
not to
nots.
The do's and
do. How to
do
sneak
nots.
beach balls into every show.
Yeah, hopefully
Rectally.
we haven't really done a good job at posting all of the video, but we've hit a decent amount of shows, and there have been plentiful beach balls.
We need to make like brand name beach balls.
Yeah,
Good
you know,
way to-
I really did think I had this idea, and of course it was like, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and it's a lot of work. But we should have a dedicated. Actually, I'm not gonna tell the world this, so they could just steal this idea. We'll talk offline.
Right.
But anyway,
The world.
The world. The world. Like the world.
there are people listening.
The
to
world
us.
is listening right
They
now.
are, yes. If we look at the stats, I'm surprised.
They're clamoring for a new cast.
There are more people from Europe and United Kingdom than there are in America that listen to us.
Really?
Sucks
All
for
right.
them.
Well,
Yeah, that's
Maybe they
all
think
right,
we're
well,
charming.
I'm
I don't
with
know.
it.
again. I'll offline. I'll show you some of the stats. It's actually surprising. I'm always surprised, but I'm like, wow, someone actually listened. I don't care if it's one person or five.
You know, there's a lot of mad cunts out there enjoying
Yeah.
our fucking.
It's
trying
true.
to fucking
Rot,
true.
rot.
shite.
You know what though? It's like if I could listen to like 3 like Australian chicks just talk about random shit, I'd be like, just because of their accents, just because like it's like not, it's like foreign to us. Like, you know,
people probably around the world think we're crazy, and I would tend
And
to
I
agree
can't
with
really
that.
say I blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame them. We're insane. We're insane.
Yeah.
kind of have the fun though. Because like we always said, like this is never meant to be anything super serious. It's just like shit we're gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
But might as well just capture it, and if someone wants to listen, cool. If not, that's cool too. But like it's, you know what?
You know I feel like the whole like rest of the world looks at America. You just remember Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? The scene where they go to that sick ass carnival, like that is that's how
Pretty
they
much.
see
Yeah.
We're just like a sitcom to the rest of the world. It's kind of fucked up. But like going back, would have been in this over 4 years now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe closer to 5.
I think this is season 5.
So it's kind of cool going back 4 years from now. I'm just,
Seasons of the Witch.
Yeah, Seasons of the Witch.
just going back and listening, even like going back and listening to shit from 4 years ago. I'm like, oh, I forgot I said that, or I forgot we did that, or I forgot like that was a point. Like, so it's almost fun to listen to your own stuff. You know, I don't do it super often. I know Marco like sits on a bag of ice and reviews the fucking review tapes from the game before. You know,
Yeah, most of the listens are actually just Marco.
it's just all Marco.
It's all Marco listening to us.
And one random
Thank you for your
listener that
viewership or
listened to every one of
listenership,
Jay's
Marco. We appreciate your listenership.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some regrettable ones I forgot are now out in the ether, and we can never get those back. So unfortunately, like someday my son's gonna be like, "Dad, you sound like such an idiot." I'm like, what are you? You actually have this? This is it, man. It's out in the internet.
Yeah, it's like
dude.
that episode of The Simpsons where Homer hears his own voice recorded. He's like, "Hey, this is Homer Simpson."
To all you ladies out in videotape. Yeah,
Radio
Land.
Ah, that's how I sound.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
We'll regret it one day, but it's fun right now in the moment.
So yeah, let's releases. You were talking, Jay. You brought up Overkill.
Overkill's new record, Scorched, I believe it's called.
That's-
It's pretty fucking solid. And
It is-
Dougie, you were saying it was a little bit more progressive.
Yeah, because they have
Yeah.
Jason.
Jason Bittner from Shadows Fall on drums. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So
He's been on a couple records already. This is not his first.
oh, it's not his first.
Not his
Okay.
first. He's been on at least one other record. They picked him up years ago when Shadows Fall broke up. They took a hiatus, permanent hiatus. He ended up jumping into Overkill, and then John. I don't know how I could forget John's last name. Anyway, John is an amazing guitar lead for Shadows Fall. Jonathan Donay. He ended up joining Anthrax.
Oh yes. Okay.
So it's cool that two dudes and an American metal band that got really big from New England, they ended up filling gaps in these amazing iconic thrash bands.
Which is probably bands they grew up listening in, like, you know, that's probably a dream for them to be
Of
in,
course,
like,
absolutely.
bands that they grew up listening to.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I mean,
Yes.
we'd kind of be remiss if we didn't talk about the elephant in the room. Did you guys mention the new Metallica album?
No, not
We were gonna. You were outside.
yeah. Oh yeah, we were gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Should we get into that?
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
I'll leave.
Oh, you don't.
You're gonna leave? Did you say you were gonna leave or you're gonna leave?
Leave. Like,
Okay.
You didn't like it.
You want to hear my honest opinion?
Yes.
The last one was better.
I thought 72 Seasons, the song was fun. It's very catchy. I tried listening 4 or 5 times to get through, and like when I'm driving, like, and I have a random like mix on or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this all. I kept like accidentally skipping the song. I'm like, fuck, I'm supposed to be listening to this in its entirety. Dude, there was maybe one other song that was kind of catchy, maybe like the Mirrors in the Room, whatever it was, Mirrors in My Mind. I don't even.
Okay.
There was one other song that there was a couple that were kind of catchy. The only one that I really will probably listen to again is 72 Seasons. Other than that, I feel it's like a lot of yeah and riffs that I've heard before 100 times. It's like all the bad songs off the last 2 albums. They have had some bangers the last few, but
interesting. Okay.
it's like all the bad songs off that album is just rehashed into this.
Interesting.
And I know you feel a lot different. That's why I'm very surprised.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Actually, so first of all, it landed on number 2 on the Billboard 200. It's the first time they haven't had a number 1 hit since the Black Album.
No. Wait, so even like Death Magnetic.
It's the first time they've landed at number 2 since. I don't know if that means it hasn't. This is the first time they haven't had a number 1 release. I feel like they always go to number 1 when they have a record come out.
Because they're Metallica.
Correct.
And then it didn't work this time.
And it didn't work this time. And it's funny. I feel like this is the strongest record they've made since the Black record, because in my opinion, the songs on this, I could listen to this whole album, and I feel like for me, there's just no filler. There's no slow tracks, which I love. I was waiting for like Unforgiven 5 to come up or something.
Oh god. Well, it's coming.
You know, I was waiting for like that intro to be like, no. And Hardwired was a good record, but I never fell in love with that, and maybe I just need to revisit it. You know how like you can love a band and then you fall out of love with the band, and it takes one album again to hook you back in. For this just happened to be the record, and I was working in the yard and not paying attention, but paying attention, and I kept coming back. Like, and I feel like it has the elements of Load that were good. See, it's when you're like, it's all the bad stuff. For me, I'm like, it had the elements that I liked in Load, but it didn't do too much of that, and most of it was very reminiscent of the early 90s Black record. I don't feel like they went too far into the 80s. They had a couple great thrash riffs, but I feel like they had some good compositions that made sense. Like, in even You Will Burn, I fucking love that song, You Will Burn. It's such a good track. A little Sabbath-y. Definitely some awesome hooks, some awesome riffs. Like, I feel like in this album, James just kept... It was just like a dizzy, fret frenzy, like, riff change. He just kept changing riffs, and it all flowed well, in my opinion. I always complain about Kirk's guitars, because I feel like he's like the one weakest element in the band, and actually Lars now too. Lars is every record. I feel like, I'll say this: the drumming, I've hated Lars's drumming ever since. I mean,
you've always hated his drumming. I think that the first conversation I had with you when I first met you in Doug's basement was how fucking much Lars sucked at drums. And it was the first like contrary opinion I'd heard to something that we all collectively liked. That I was just like, this guy actually has a thought and like of his own about fucking something something that we love. He has an opinion of his.
Man, I'll tell you, the one thing I'll say about Lars. He is the reason I picked up Styx, though, because the Black Album, I wanted to be Lars.
Honestly, he's a big reason as to why we know who Metallica is, because
in the drum set, man, that Tama, the '80s, the fucking Injustice for All record, the live Shit Binge and Purge box set. Watching him with that. I wanted that. I bought a silver Tama double bass drum kick set look like Lars.
So it's been a love-hate relationship with Lars for you.
Oh, fuck yeah, love-hate. but it's been more about the star quality of Lars and less about the playing. I remember I remember going to Lexington Music.
He's kind of like the Ringo of heavy metal.
Yeah, for sure. But he's also the thing about Lars, definitely not the best drummer in one of the best metal bands in the world, but his playing on fucking Ride the Lightning was wildly underrated, and he did some shit that like now John Deet, which we all know John Deet, right?
Yeah.
He's played in a ton of great thrash bands. He's like the filler drummer.
Oh, you're talking about the cover he did of that? It was
Holy
fucking solid,
fuck.
dude. Yeah, that was good.
But it made me realize how technically proficient Lars was at that time. My God, he could play.
And granted, Joe probably added a little bit to it, but I mean it was a pretty solid.
Holy
pretty
fuck
tight cover.
And I think we all know, like we've always heard Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater absolutely loves Master of Puppets as a record because he's like, no, Lars is technically proficient in that. But then after Injustice, he gave up playing drums. Let's just be honest. He got fucking lazy. The Black Album made him lazy. But anyway,
he wanted to be a movie star.
My favorite opinion of
it didn't get better drumming wise. It didn't get better. I do feel like in this album, there's just a ton of Lars snare on it that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I would say as a new Metallica, it's my favorite record since the Black Album, hands down. That's just me. But
that's why it's Opinionated Pit.
Yeah.
It's just I think
you hate it.
I heard an opinion that I agree with fully, and it's pretty funny. My friend Brian said to me, he's a big Metallica fan, Megadeth. Said listen to the new Metallica album, and I didn't want to shut it off. And I was like, I listened to it, and I was kind of like how I felt too. I was just like, I didn't want to shut this. Like, it wasn't a terrible album. I didn't want to turn it off, but I'll probably never listen to it again.
Okay, that's what happened with Hardwired for me.
See, that's the opposite. I feel like they took a step back from Hardwired because I actually liked Hardwired. I feel like they were kind of like. They were a little bit more thrash territory. They were kind of like, it was almost like a midlife crisis album where they were kind of like going back to their roots. And this was definitely a step back towards...
Okay. It's a little more rocky, I feel.
It's definitely more rocky. It's more in the vein of the Black Album, Load. But I feel like they kind of tried to take elements of all of their albums and put them into one.
That's what
it just didn't really work. It just ended up sounding like more of a Black Album.
Well, let's just be thankful that they
didn't go the Saint Anger route.
It didn't take the snare from Saint Anger specifically.
We got cucked a little bit. So the last album, Hardwired, it ended with "Spit Out the Bone," which is probably one of my favorite Metallica songs in a long fucking time. That is a very good song. And then that's kind of what they did with like "Injustice for All" and "Dyer's Eve" or "Dyer's Eye," whatever the fuck it is. I do love the other. What's that track? Something of Summer. Boys of Summer. No. Sons of Summer. What the fuck was it? Yeah. Is that even on? That's not even on one of those albums though.
But like comparing the new Metallica album, which has got so much press,
is it?
Like we've talked about the new Metallica album way longer than the Overkill album, and
yeah,
the Overkill album is way fucking better as a fucking metal album.
It's a great record. My problem with Overkill has always been I just can't do Bobby Blitz's voice.
I know you've always had a problem with voices, and that was my problem with them for years also. And I don't know what changed. I really don't. I just doesn't bother me anymore, and I dig it now. Like he sounds like a little fucking demon troll, and I love dig it.
I know sometimes it can be nails on a chalkboard if you're not in the mood, but like when it hits so fucking.
Hey, look, it's like Steve Souza in Exodus. I love some Steve Souza in Exodus at times, but then there's the days I don't want to hear it, and you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
Unhear him.
And Dave
I will say, I love his vocals on their most recent fucking album.
See, Dave, I can always do.
Dave can be like, if I just appreciate Dave growing up listening to him. Like, if someone came out of like left field, like listening to him for the first time, like what's wrong with his voice? You know, what's he doing?
There's a good segue. I am going to see Dave and Megadeth as special guests in Florida in June when they play with Fear and the Misfits.
Oh, I didn't realize Megadeth was playing.
Yeah, Megadeth's a special guest of that fucking show.
Yeah, I'm inviting him.
Very cool, man.
And I've seen all of the bands before, and I can't wait to see them all together. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I saw
Fear too.
Yeah.
Isn't Fear like on like a final tour type deal?
I don't know. I don't think it's a final. They haven't done anything in years, and they just started. They're on tour now. I think they're. I feel like they might be recording an album. I might be.
Oh shit! I thought they were going the other way, like one final tour.
Dude, I saw them at the Middle East. A few months ago, and it was
pretty violent from what I heard. Right?
Fucking awesome, dude. I went with Pam. Pam Hamlin. No, Pam Hamlin from Waltham.
Who the fuck is that?
I'll tell you.
All right, we'll touch on that later.
Have you seen this lineup for Megadeth? Like these guys, Dave's new lineup?
No.
It's killer, man. You're gonna love it. So
who's playing bass? Is it It's not Steve DiGiorgio.
No, it's James Lomenzo.
Okay, because that was when they got rid of Ellison. I was just like, they're like, oh, whoever they replace him with is gonna be like their permanent guy, and I was like, oh.
So I did. So the only difference.
If it's Steve, I'm like, that'd be the shit.
That would be cool.
Who, DiGiorgio?
It's not delivery. It's DiGiorgio.
He's such a nice dude. I don't know if I said this in the last cat. I might have. So I did VIP for Death to All. So I met Gene Hoglan and Steve DiGiorgio.
Okay.
Dude, they were so fucking nice, man.
Yeah.
Did you see the video I sent Doug?
No.
I think you sent Gene Hoglan telling Doug that he is an asshole.
Oh, I did see that. That's fucking awesome.
I'm still so like love hate with that video. Like I'm like,
oh yeah, this is the best burn.
That's right. That's right up there with Bruce Campbell saying into the camera that the Morgan Knockers kick ass. They ran into him at some book signing or something like that, and got him to say it while they were filming. It was fucking
That's
cool.
great.
That's pretty good. I never heard that one.
You should show Tanner and be like, see what he thinks of that.
Oh yeah, because now me and Kevin are just trying to outburn each other with celebrities.
That's it.
I mean, like, you're gonna get Donald Trump to be like, fucking.
Kevin Barry.
I think you suck.
I got a request. I don't know.
I think the most famous person I ever met was Shane West, the actor. He was in A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore.
And
she was a babe.
And he also played Darby Crash in a movie called What We Do Is Secret about the germs.
How did you run into him? How was that? I mean,
because after he played Shane West in the Germs movie, the fucking band went out on tour and fucking hired him to fucking sing. They ended up doing like a couple of Warped tours, and they played Harper's Ferry. I was supposed to go with Fuse, and he fucking bailed on me. I think he got arrested. And I remember talking to his mother that night and being like, "Where's Mike?" She's like, "I don't know, JJ. I haven't heard from him." She's like, "You're on your own tonight." I was like, "All right, whatever." Erica ended up meeting me at the concert.
This is like Harper's Ferry.
Harper's Ferry when it was Harper's Ferry, in Austin.
Musical.
And the fucking Germs, they played with the Crumb Bums.
Crumb Bums.
Yeah, it was a fucking awesome show, and the kid put on a hell of a fucking performance too.
Could you write on him in Sharpie like the old fucking VHS?
No, but Don Bowles was outside, the drummer, and he was giving everybody the Germs burns. That was like the thing that the Germs did, that they burned each other with cigarettes. And it made the Germs circle on their arm, and like everyone's giving Germs burn. Don, give me a burn. I'm out there smoking cigarettes. I'm like, these kids are fucking ridiculous, dude. And fucking Don was just like, "You want one?" I was like, "No, I'm
5 of them."
I'm like, I'm good, Don. Like, I'll remember this moment. Trust me.
Yeah, I'll remember this. I don't need you.
I don't need you to burn me. I'm okay.
One?
But it was funny because when Erica saw who it was, because she loved the fucking Walk to Remember movie, when she realized that it was fucking the guy from the Mandy Moore movie singing for this fucking in this punk band, she was like, "It's him. It's him."
That's wild.
No shit. How long ago was that?
That was, oh my god.
Like,
well, my story
over 10 years.
I have
ago
a similar
anyway.
story, but it's not as good because I went to see Seven Dust, and I think I was with Paul and Neil Souza went to that show too. I'm pretty sure.
I saw Seven Dust with Neil too, but we were at the other stage waiting for Slayer to go on. Because Seven Dust went on, and they were on the stage like behind us, and we had our necks craned back watching Seven Dust because we didn't want to give up our close spot with Slayer.
It was like Tattoo the Earth or something. What the fuck?
It was at like Mohegan Sun or something like that. It was a festival.
Oh,
it was Mohegan Sun, I think. It was in the fucking parking lot.
Like
they don't even let us in the fucking.
Well, my full circle. My point is, I just remember the opening band coming out. I had no idea who the fuck they were. I didn't care. And then I just see Jared Leto, and I'm like, why the hell is Jared Leto singing for a band? It was some 30 seconds of Mars or something. Like that. But he comes out, and I was just like, great. He's acting now. He's singing too. What else does he do?
As a singer. Yeah. Pottery.
Oh my god. You just went to a concert too, didn't you, Kev? You see
Yeah, I just
Life Agony at the Ballroom.
Yeah, I think we talked. I think on a cast that I'm gonna put out, I had already talked about that too. But more recently, I did. I've been doing cover bands lately, so I checked out this band Brit Floyd, and they're not as big as the Aussie Pink Floyd, who play like 30,000 seats, but these guys are packing in close to 1,000 seats, and it blew my mind. Like it just confirmed what I felt like I already knew, which is bands you can go see a really proficient, almost sound-alike cover band that's going to give you the experience of an artist that you'll never see. You're never going to have the opportunity to see ever again. You know it. And you can get and feel like you're in that atmosphere, and it's amazing, man. Like I just everything they put so much money into the light show, and yeah. Doug,
so let me ask you a question. With like Get the Let Out, with whatever band, Brit Floyd.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they have to pay royalties to the bands? How does that work from like?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I'm just curious if it's like, you know, it's obviously worth them to do it because they're doing it, but like, do they pay royalties, or is it kind of? Whereas if they're not doing a recording, it's like okay to do live. Like if I was a band, like I don't know how I would feel if I was Led Zeppelin. Like we don't play anymore, obviously, but
if you call it tribute, though, if you call it a tribute band, you know, if like I think if they tried to use the name and go out and tour, they could obviously get sued and stuff. I don't know how it works with tributes if they have to actually pay anything, because all you're doing is you're covering the band. Yeah. You're not taking claim to anything.
So you're like, we don't know
asses in seats. Yes, but you're not stealing anything from them and claiming it as your own.
And probably no recordings. That's probably a big no-no.
It's a tribute to the mighty Led Zeppelin, right? It's a Pink Floyd experience. Brit Floyd, the Pink Floyd experience. So
it might be kind of kosher as long as they stay on the
right.
gray areas.
Yeah.
Well, like I know a lot of bands, like say Wargasm, for a long time, profile Enigma, whoever owned the rights to the fucking album, but they're like, all right, you own the album, but we're gonna play the songs live, like, and we own the live songs. Like we both own the music. You own the studio.
It is really, unfortunately, a lot of political business bullshit.
And it sucks.
But I don't know, because cover bands are getting massive. I mean, they have been for a while, but like Australian Pink Floyd plays fucking 30,000. I mean, they've played it. Like we are, like Massachusetts has an outdoor arena that would, you know, like Iron Maiden will go play. Okay, and Australian Pink Floyd has played there too. Literally, they're just fucking playing cover songs, and they're selling that many seats.
Makes you go think if like Pink Floyd does Pink Floyd play?
No.
So Roger Waters, the whole gang.
Roger Waters does his own thing. Which I don't know why anyone would want to listen to him sing anything, and then David Gilmour has been doing David Gilmour, and that's it. But they're getting so old that I don't even think David Gilmour's gonna tour. I mean, I would like to see him at least once.
So you're at that point where you're almost better off seeing the cover band because
man, it was so good.
That was the whole.
Those of you who are local to the Drake, New Hampshire area, the boat in Drake offers the best in cover entertainment. Not generally the
cover entertainment.
Not a whole lot of heavy metal stuff going on there, but there's a Facebook group called the 59 Underground Music Showcase that they also, if you want to stay in touch with local hardcore and heavy metal shows coming to the area, if you're in the southern New Hampshire and northern Mass area, it's a good group to join. I think I sent you guys links to this group. Yes. It looks like one of the admins might be even setting some stuff up in his basement, and it looks like they have shows every weekend. I don't know. Check them out. It's a good time.
Jay, you need to DJ at a strip club.
Yeah.
Like now, welcome Sasha to the stage.
Welcome to the stage, fun,
Sasha.
Fun, Dougie. No, I did see a Judas Priest cover band at that place. It was pretty fucking solid.
I kind of
missed that. The Hellion. They were fucking good.
Oh, the Hellion.
They were really good.
I want to say I've seen them before. Maybe like Ralph's, because Ralph sometimes will do like.
I feel like they were from like Connecticut or something like that. I feel like some of
Connecticut's big power metal, because I know Symphony X is from Connecticut. Isn't Iced Earth from Connecticut?
Iced Earth
or Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
So it's that kind of that realm, but well, in the same breath, like I remember years ago, like fighting with the older guys that were into like all the old school thrash and stuff, and then like it's not quite in the same vein as like a cover band, but like say a second, third wave, like I might as well just listen to like the original stuff. It's like, yeah, well, a lot of the original bands don't play anymore, so if I can go see, I know that fucking fly. I'll show you my vacuum. It's a bloodbath. It's a blood orgy. But it's like if I can go see these bands live, you know what I mean? Like. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you grew up in that era. It sucks I didn't. You know, it sucks for me. But, like, those bands don't play anymore. So if I can see the second and third wave having the same energy, the same live show,
yeah,
I'm gonna.
I don't know why. It seems like every bar in Drake, there's only a couple bars in Drake that have live music, but they always seem to have, it's always cover bands. Like that's
well, probably because get asses in the seats, you know.
Yeah, it's
people want to go. Most people like metalheads are one thing. Like I'll go and watch 4 bands that I don't know to see one band and probably enjoy most of them. But like, if I'm just like a yuppie or a whoever, it's not really any music. I just want to hear songs I know, like a Woo Girl. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so the cover bands, it's like, hey, I know all these songs. I want to dance. Like, you don't dance to songs you don't know for the most part. More
right.
Gals, crazy gals.
Yes.
So last weekend, me and my girlfriend were talking. She's like, "Hey, why aren't we going to like the Decibel Beer and Metal Festival in Philadelphia?" I'm like, "Well, it's probably because we have tickets to Dead Congregation on Thursday, fucking Carcass, Sacred Reich, and Municipal Waste Friday, Morbid Angel and Crypta on Saturday, and Brusto Rama on Sunday." I'm like, "That's probably why we have 4 things planned." She's like, "What do you wanna give all those up and just go to fucking Philly for the weekend?" I'm like, "You know what? Honestly, yeah."
Wait, did you say Morbid Angel?
Yeah.
Did you end up seeing them before the dude collapsed?
No, that was like a couple shows after.
Oh.
And I never even saw them. I sold my tickets.
Oh, you did.
But it was upstairs at the Palladium. I really want, dude, that fucking tour. I don't know if we talked about this. I think it happened right around the time that we did our last podcast.
The collapse at the
the Apollo Theater.
Fucking bad.
Dude, that fucking tour is just cursed. And it sucks because like Morbid Angel, you know, they're trying to do their 40th year anniversary, and then Crypta, it's like
but it's not David Vincent back in the band.
No, this is Steve Tucker. Yeah, Steve Tucker, or is that an actor?
You're thinking of Chris Tucker.
Yeah, okay, so it is Steve Tucker. I always got the two mixed up. So he's the dude, and honestly, I'm like David Vincent or nothing. And then I saw Steve Tucker. They played with like Immolation and like Blood Incantation last year at the Palladium. And I was fucking, I watched the whole set. I'm like, well, let's see 1 or 2 songs. Like, I'm a David fan. Dude, he blew everything out of the water.
He did a great job.
So I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing them, especially upstairs at the Palladium. I don't know why they had that upstairs at the Palladium.
Do you know how many members are still, like, original Morbid Angel?
I think it's just Pete Sandoval and Trey Esgoth. And that was Trey's the one that
dropped,
yeah.
But I mean, is he, I don't know what his condition is.
His mom said that he was dehydrated and he's been having back issues. But a lot of people say he likes his acid or he likes his this. He's always looked very sickly. He's always very veiny, very skinny. He always has been.
Did you say somebody like their ass ate?
Their ass ate.
Wait, you said his mom? How did you talk to his mom personally?
She called me this afternoon.
But of all people, I love how it's like some 50-year-old dude's mom. It's like, world, I'm just gonna let you know my boy's okay.
Yeah.
He's
like evil Trey Azagoth, and it's like
evil Trey Azagoth
living at his mom. Like he's probably taking care of his mom. You know what I mean? He's probably just some. He is. I guess he's
such a sweet boy. He really is.
Yeah, he doesn't mean to. But it just sucks. That whole fucking tour has been cursed. And I really want to see Crypta, which is like Nervosa. There's 2, I think, members from Nervosa, and then there's like...
Crypta's
it's kind of
like the Brazilian chick thrash
yeah, but
band.
now... So Nervosa was all the chick band. Nervosa's still a band, but 2 of the members went to this band. And now there's like a chick... 1 or 2 other gals from...
Crypta's full female
Full female, but not all Brazilian anymore. There's a couple... and they're more death metal. And they're actually fucking awesome. That's why... I was kind of bummed to not see them, but they'll be back. And I think they might even be playing Brutal Assault. But so we ended up going to the Decibel Beer and Metal Festival the second day. And I think it was All Out War, Suicidal Tendencies, I Hate God, another band called Drowning Man, and Incantation did a fucking special set. It was cool. Like I've never been. I went to like I think Philadelphia for like 4 hours once to pick a bike, get lunch, basically go to like the Moody Museum, which is the weird. Have you guys ever been to the Moody Museum?
No.
So the Moody Museum is basically like some dude back in the 1850s who was a doctor, and he became obsessed with like human abnormalities.
Yeah.
So he has like there's like you go into this is like his collection from like 150 years ago. So there's like
in pickled jars
of baby fetuses, like conjoined twins. There's fucking. So the first time I went there, you go down the stairs, and I'm just pulling out these drawers. I'm like, what the fuck is all this shit? And then you realize these are all things that he's pulled out of patients' stomachs, basically trying to kill themselves. Pins, nails, staples, trying to pop the lining of their stomachs so their fucking acid basically eats them alive. Like, that was the best way of suicide back then. Just eat a tack. And dude, it's some of the shit he has. It's a wild collection. It's beautifully curated, like 120-year-old building.
Wow.
If you ever have the chance, if you're in Philadelphia, go to the Moody Museum. I suggest we also went to the Eastern State Penitentiary, where you go and you get the tour. So there's a prison, one of the first state penitentiaries in the country, from like the 1820s. So you go and you do the audio tour, and guess who? But Steve Buscemi
is doing the
fucking audio. I'm like,
Man.
I love this. I'm like, I'm just gonna just listen.
Steve Buscemi is the kind of guy who like he's so recognizable, like you know who he is in everything. But when he plays a role, he becomes that role, and you forget that it's Steve Buscemi. Watch. You don't believe me? Watch Boardwalk Empire.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna fucking forget that it's Steve Buscemi and go, man, that Nucky, he's fucking on point.
Or Big Daddy.
Yeah.
The crazy eyes.
Yeah. Don't worry, time heals all things. Except for these crazy eyes. Does he get like French fries and gummy bears on his pizza or some shit?
I loved him in Hubie Halloween.
Oh, Hubie Halloween.
He was so
I couldn't get through Hubie Halloween.
No, don't say that.
I couldn't do it.
Give it another try.
I will.
Did you hear Shaq giggle yet? Give it another try. Dude, at first I'm like, oh god, it's just Waterboy Halloween style.
No,
but at first, and then I'm like, all right, I gave it. I'm like, there's so many throwbacks.
You know what? I watched The Waterboy recently. I wouldn't recommend it.
Didn't age well?
No, it didn't.
Besides, though, you can do it.
I love when Buscemi.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that in the theaters in like 7th grade.
Asshole. You know it's Buscemi. You can hear his voice, but. Come on, man! He plays a wolf man. Let's go.
It's fun. It's fun. It's obviously it's not gonna fucking win any Academy Awards or whatever.
Mr. Lambert, is that you? Eating your feces.
Ray Liotta, come on.
I just can't do fucking Sandler either.
I know he does the dumb thing but honestly, it's got the chick from like Modern Family who
he's always like.
He just got an award or something.
Yeah,
the roast was really good though.
Dude.
His friends roasted him, and they were just making fun of like all his shit. But they're like, I don't know anybody who can do the stupidest shit and get a Netflix contract for like the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Dude.
So whether you love him or hate him, he's And I heard he's a super humble dude in real life.
I bet he is.
Which I respect. He fucking goes and plays his music, and he was just at Snew Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire, dude. Played a fucking arena, sold out.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Nobody can, because you can make fun of him and be like, oh, okay, yeah, who's laughing now?
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm not making movies and millions...
Pauly Shore used to have a bit about Adam Sandler. It's like, what's the difference between me and you? He's like, $30 million.
Yeah.
No, it's true. They do the same. It's the same shtick, dude. They're just idiots. It's just one's a fucking more successful idiot than the other.
Did you ever listen to the old, like, Adam Sandler CDs and tapes?
Yes, of course, yeah.
And you don't have like a soft spot for him, even for like the
no,
fucking Fatty McGee and.
No, he's definitely funny. Like fucking
Willie?
Stan and Judy's kid is even funny. Yeah, Total Willie's solid.
Come on, man.
Like,
what about the Uncle Don?
The buffoon.
The buffoon, yeah.
The buffoon at the drive-in movie theater.
The mafia guys on the boat. Oh. How about a little bit of reverse action?
That girl over there, she gives everybody head. I'm gonna go get head from that fucking girl.
Is this two guys working out or two guys having gay sex? Like, there's no dumbbells here. Definitely just my balls.
$1.75 pair. Isn't that how much your mother charges for a blowjob?
Blowjob.
Oh, real fucking funny.
Fuck you, you fucking uppity bitch. No, he's definitely fun. It's like
friends in front of your mother.
No, it's not that I don't like Adam Sandler.
Please don't sue us.
The stuff that I found funny is still funny. I'm just sick of the shit he does now. Like I'm just, like some of the stuff he's done is just fucking like, like what is that Jack and Jill movie? Like, come on, man. Did you really need the money that bad?
There's a couple that I mean, Grown Ups 1
I can't believe Al Pacino's in that movie. Grown Ups is good.
Grown Ups 1 and 2 are great.
Grown Ups 2 is funny. But Grown Ups 2 is really fun. Like I think that's honestly that was like the funniest movie he's made in a long time.
And it's just his best friends. I mean,
everybody
they
who's in
hardly
that
had
is
to
funny.
act. They hardly had to act. That was them just being them.
Everybody who's in that's funny. But here's the thing about that movie. Think about how much more fun. And this is the saddest thing in the world. How much more funny would Grown Ups be? Take Kevin James, remove him from the movie, and in this magical parallel reality, Chris Farley never died. And it's Chris Farley in that movie instead of Kevin James. Because that's realistically what they're trying to push us with Kevin James. Is he's the Chris Farley replacement. And I don't accept it.
It's tough to answer.
I don't accept it.
Besides King of Queens, I can't do Kevin James.
No.
Like Paul Blart. I'm like,
so you just missed it. What I just brought up was like, imagine in this parallel reality, Chris Farley never died. And instead of Kevin James, it's Chris Farley in Grown Ups. Like, imagine how fucking good that movie would be.
I agree. You're right. They were kind of trying to
fill
that role.
I didn't know that she was in. She was a Scientologist.
I think she was born into it though.
No, she was. She was born into it, and she escaped it.
Carrie from Queen of Queens. I don't remember her real name.
Leah.
Yeah, she had a whole show about like exposing them. And
she went on Joe Rogan, and I watched the whole thing. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, I'm glad she got it because it's such a fucked up
cult.
It's more culty than most.
It's a cult that doesn't.
It's a cult just like Heaven's Gate or the Christian religion.
Yeah, it doesn't follow, but it doesn't follow. You know, they don't follow their own rules when it comes to Tom Cruise. Apparently, so he does everything outside the book and the whole thing. Anyway,
like there's different levels of their religion too. Like once you attain certain like levels, like status, they'll fucking all lie for you and shit. And like
statuses, man.
Yeah, that's probably where Tom Cruise is at. Like he could just kill someone and they'd all just be like, nope, he was here the whole time.
Yeah.
He was doing weird Scientology shit here the whole time.
Oh yeah.
We seen him.
What else do we got? Anything? What other? I mean, we were talking. It was great. We squirreled on this episode.
Yeah, we
so
did.
badly.
That's all right. That's half our charm.
We talked about Metallica. We talked about Overkill. Is there any new music? Is there any other new music that we can think of? Are there any new bands that you guys have been into that may seem different in the rock and metal scene? Like, I know there's a band that's making a massive...
Well, I will say that Rancid just dropped a song the other day, and they have a new album coming out in a few months, I think. And also, Jesse and Tim from Operation Ivy just dropped a song under... They had... Initially, the song was dropped under one band name, I forget what it was, and then... they changed the name again to something like Doom Patrol or something like that.
So you're a punk guy, obviously. Yeah. You like a lot of like underground punk and you're all over the place.
I get.
Do you like Hot Graves?
Who is it?
Hot Graves.
I don't know who that is.
You haven't heard of them?
No.
Check them. They're from Gainesville, Florida.
They're not really punk though, are they?
Yeah, they're considered punk.
But where I was going with that is like they had two different name changes with this thing. It made me feel like Op Ivy's coming back.
So that's my theory. Like they do something funny. Like check out Hot Graves. See what you think. They're kind of Hot Graves.
I'll check them out.
I wouldn't say they're like old school straight up punk. They're not straight up punk, but yeah, there's punk elements in that, man.
Like elements, but they're more just like kind of like death metal-y, I thought.
You
like
think so?
A little more crusty. That's the dudes from The Absence, right?
Yeah. Well, just Jamie on vocals. Yeah. Check them out after we're done with this.
I need because I
throw it on for Jay a little bit. I fell in love with the logo. They do hot pink for the Hot Graves, but their artwork is just like badass. I mean, it's just like some skeleton coming out of a coffin. It just says Hot Graves in hot pink. The rest of it's in like black and white. So it just looked really, it caught my eye.
Yeah.
And I love the death metal band that the singer's in. And yeah, I mean, it's Doug. I had it on for Doug. He was just like, "You're listening to this?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean,
that's why, because it's we'll put it on. We'll see what you think. But it's funny because Jamie from The Absence also looks like Jamie from MythBusters.
He does.
If he had like the beret and like a little more,
yep, I can see
look
that.
just like him. That's why I always remember his name, which is weird. It's a weird association. But.
Anything else? Is there any? I can't think of any new music.
As far as new music, dude, there's so much, but like that's for a whole nother cast. I'd have to do a little more research as far as just dropping names, album names and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm always at least 5 years behind. Like someone be like, "Dude, check out this album." Like, oh, cool, true. I like it. Oh, it came out in fucking 2016. Like
Did you like the new Megadeth record?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Agreed.
It came out. It's funny because my friend Brian again. He listened to it like nonstop once it came out, but it came out at a time when I was listening to just like I couldn't listen to metal for whatever reason. I was just. It was after Fuse died. For those of you who don't know, us personally, a good personal friend of ours passed away, and he was very much into punk rock. So I just couldn't get out of this like punk rock phase where I was just listening to punk rock all the time, and it got to a point where I was listening to like NoFX like every day, all day. It was a weird phase, but like the Megadeth album dropped, and like I listened to it once, and I was like, that was really good. Now it's back to NoFX because I was just in that mindset. And I couldn't. It's taken me a while to get back to listening to that. Yep. And now that the new Metallica is out and it's really fucking bad, it'll get me to. It'll get me to listen to the Megadeth album.
The only thing I wish Megadeth didn't do, and I don't know why he fucking does this. we don't need cover songs from Megadeth. Megadeth are too big to do those covers.
I've always disliked when anybody really, especially in metal, does cover songs. And Dave's bad at it. Metallica's bad at it.
They did this.
Well, besides like the Garage Days stuff, like some of that stuff.
Garage Days was great,
dude. The Prince, like Bread Fan, all that old new wave of British heavy metal. The whole second CD could blow me.
But Garage Inc. itself, not Garage Inc. Sorry, Garage
Days.
Yeah, Garage Days,
or disc 1 of Garage Inc.
Yeah.
Because the Motorhead covers are.
But anyway,
pretty good.
they did Delivering the Goods from Priest. No, they didn't need to do
like,
that.
Is that Megadeth?
Always done
and
cover
they
songs.
released
Like
it
he
as a
did that
fucking
Nancy
single.
Sinatra song, and it's just like, dude, we didn't need that.
Nancy, what was that? Boots?
Yeah.
My Boots?
Yeah.
And they released it as a single too, recently, and I'm like, why? You're too big. That's for an artist that's up and coming that nobody knows because it's a good gateway.
Or
which one does he do on this one? Is it Police Truck? Is that it?
He did. They did do that, but then they also on like whatever special edition have Delivering the Goods. I'm like, we don't need two of them.
I did.
Police
hear that
Truck
one.
was okay.
I like his version of Delivering the Goods, but it was the one. What was it?
You don't like
Foreign Policy on the last album. It was Dystopia, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Foreign
Policy. Yeah.
Foreign Policy.
We didn't need it. I just don't. You can't have a perfect Megadeth record if you keep putting in a fucking cover song on the album.
Dude, even
I feel like it cheapens it. It really does. And like he puts
cheapen it.
And like especially like everything he's done since The World Needs a Hero has been like progressively better. I feel like musically, like
even
they're the best they've ever been.
I know if Marco was here, his only complaint he'd go right back to, oh god, I'm gonna forget. Peace Sells, man.
Yeah, I Ain't
Peace Sells
Superstitious.
could have been a fucking perfect record, and then you threw in I Ain't Superstitious in there. We didn't need to have that on the
Just
album.
write into fucking My Last Words and call it an album. Like you
don't understand
the vibe.
the thought there.
Yeah, it really does.
Look,
I'll never understand why bands do that.
Well, the only band that
They don't know what they're gonna do.
let's say
Nobody's Fault.
Oh, Nobody's Fault was very good.
That's like a perfect cover.
You know, I for years I didn't know that was a fucking cover.
That's how fucking perfect that cover
It just
is.
it kind of blended that was like one that and like Creator Lambs to Slaughter, which I didn't
know
know.
what? You know why they did that song is because they didn't have enough songs for that album.
Oh, so just to kind of fill the album.
Yeah,
that was what New World Order.
New World Order.
It's the second album, and I think that's why that's one of my favorite albums is because
the New Order. Thank you.
Yeah, the New Order. That's right.
A
lot of the songs on that album weren't planned for that album. They had to like rush those albums. It's like those little watches, but that's one of them. Like that's one of their
makes sense, especially
main
that era.
songs.
Like because they were kind of like second or third wave at that point. So like they're like you're gonna get this shit out, or you're gonna fucking miss the boat.
They were kind of like you mean like American thrash, like Bay Area thrash?
Yeah, their first album came out like '87. I know
that was their first album came out, but they were around fucking before Metallica. They were around as Legacy in like 83.
They're around that early. Well, I know, yeah, because I know Kirk was in the band.
I mean, Forbidden Evil was around.
Well,
Forbidden Evil were around, and Testament were around, but they didn't have an actual established first record.
You're right. So as far as like when they decipher waves, I think it's like when your first album came out versus when you formed. I know there's that like. Yeah. Unless there's a huge gap, it's like, all right, we came out in 80, and we didn't put out our first album till 87. That's all right, give them a little more street cred.
Think about it like this: like Exodus is a perfect example of that too. Is that like when did their first album come out?
85.
Was it 85? All right, but
Kurt was writing shit with them before he joined Metallica. So and they were already
right. It was like early.
Exodus was the heart of that fucking scene when Metallica got onto it, and then Metallica was so fucking good that they just kind of started like overshadowing them, and then they got Kurt and kind of took over. Let's just say fucking hypothetically, fucking they get their album out before Kill 'Em All comes out, and we're not even having this conversation about how bad the new Metallica album is.
But I mean, fucking Show No Mercy came out the same year too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and then so it's I don't know, like the whole timeline's so skewed, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just to think of Kill 'Em All 83, that's so early. It's like no, Show No Mercy came out in 83 too.
Right.
And it's like, and then like Fistful of Metal came out in 84.
I think the whole 80s. If you were in the 80s, you were part of the whole first generation of thrash.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree, but there is that like
that decade.
Because you have like
decade, man.
Like Tankard, but it's like every 2 years it's like you're in a different wave. Like
yeah.
It's anything from like '84. There's some like fucking.
It's too much, man.
It's a lot. Honestly, if it's good music, you like it. Who gives a fuck what wave it was? That was what I was saying. The whole like.
Well, except for now. Now I do, now I get preachy because I'm like everyone's like, oh, listen to this new thrash band. I'm like, I don't want to. I heard a million thrash bands. I'm not gonna be impressed by anything.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot for
too
a new
much
band to
now.
stick,
It's too much.
Because now they're trying to mix too much stuff and just to sound different, but
can't anymore.
Like out of the
if
retro,
not broke, don't fix it. That's why I love bands like Lich King and fucking Havoc, because they know what people want to hear.
Do you ever listen to Mantic Ritual?
No.
They put out one album, they disbanded, and it's probably that Warbringer and like Havoc are probably like the three like kind of like bands from that era that I still listen to like religiously. I'll send it to you. Mantic Ritual, fucking Black Tar Sid.
Well, since we're speaking of Testament, unfortunately, looks like Seven Spires is gonna have to find a new drummer. Just isn't gonna work out.
Dude, that cracks me up.
Christovis was stolen.
Poor Lou Clementi. What's he doing right now? Selling art still?
Maybe.
Maybe? Is he still alive?
He's living in my mom's house. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't think any of us want Lou to return to drums anyway. I mean, sorry, Lou.
So
I don't think anybody wants him back behind a kit.
I'm sure we've said the story a few times over the years, but I remember when, I think it was 2007, Testament just reunited, and they were playing Southbridge, Massachusetts.
Oh, that was so cool, man.
In the middle of fucking nowhere, and we decided to go to the gas station to get drinks, whatever the fuck it was, and this dude's walking back to the car. Hey, dude, nice shirt, man. Fucking be a killer show tonight. He's like, yeah. And then we get in the car, and our fucking friend Ben's like, dude, that was Greg Christensen.
Yeah, that was great.
Because he shaved his big fucking beard, and we didn't recognize him. And I'm like, oh, we're such
like
idiots.
A shaggy hippie.
Yeah, because like in the Ritual, which,
that was such a cool place to see them, and there was not a lot of people at that show, man.
I don't
remember. It was pretty empty.
I still have the shirt somewhere.
The bar and just
that was cool. And there was a bunch of young kids, so it was fun.
And now they're doing a giant stadium tour in Chile.
I remember seeing we went to see Soulfly in Lowell. This was like 10 years ago, I think. And there was this opening band played, and there were these young fucking kids, and they were they were fucking rocking it, man. Like fuck, I couldn't fucking tell what the fuck they were playing, but they were just fucking really into it and going fucking nuts. And the drummer was fucking going ape shit, absolutely fucking ape shit. And we ended up going across the street to fucking get pizza, and the drummer was in there, and we're all sitting there shooting the shit with the kid, and yeah, it was fucking awesome, man. Like, you guys are fucking. I figured it was some just local opening band that they fucking grabbed to open for fucking Soulfly, and turns out it was fucking Max's kids.
The kids are.
Oh, what Insight?
I don't know if that was, I don't even know if that was the name of the band or whatever it was, but they opened up for Soulfly, and we're just sitting there shooting the shit with Max's fucking son, and the fucking like we're leaving, and the fucking kid was like, he goes, you know who that fucking was? He goes, that's Max's son, dude. It's Max Cavalera's son. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, we're just talking rock and roll royalty. I'm like, no wonder this kid's so fucking good at drums. He's fucking Igor Cavalera's nephew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Igor is so fucking underrated.
Yeah, he was one of the first drummers that I saw like on like in videos and shit, like their Roadrunner videos.
Yeah.
With him playing, where I was like, that's what I want to do. Like his fucking his arms just all over the fucking map, dude. Just playing this massive fucking drum set.
It's almost like Nick Menza, but like Brazilian Nick Menza, where it's just like.
I think the video was right around like the Arise album.
It was probably like Live Siege under. What the fuck was it? Mass Hypnosis.
Yeah.
Mass Hypnosis.
Well, I mean, even his ability to be able to incorporate tribal drumming into metal. I mean, you don't appreciate. You always think like, oh, it's not heavy enough, but you don't know how like that's proficient, man.
That's honestly like that's the shit that I was picturing in my head when we were fucking watching Prey earlier. It was fucking was Igor the Bloody Roots.
All right. Well.
Yeah, we could talk for another few hours, but one quick thing, dude. Carcass can still bring it. Sacred Reich can still fucking bring it.
Yeah, I'm bummed that I haven't seen either of those.
Municipal Waste, they were blast.
I would love to see Municipal Waste.
There's another band that I won't see.
I've never seen them.
There's another band we won't be able to see that I'd love to see, which is Entombed. I'd love to see Entombed.
You can probably see a variation, but not with.
But it's not the original lineup, no.
Dude, clandestine.
I only started getting into that stuff.
I really want to. Yeah,
more
I really want to
recently.
see Municipal Waste. I'd definitely go see fucking Iron Reagan.
Oh, they played once with Integrity and Sacred Dragon. There was like 5 people there.
And if Exorder ever fucking plays again, dude, fucking let me know.
They'll be
fucking definitely.
Whatever happened to Toxic Holocaust? I remember when they were every show we were going to for a period of time. We're like, this band's playing again.
They're starting to play again. It's just
him, really. It's just his band. Right?
Yeah, it was a Joel Grind.
Grind.
The last time I saw them, the first time we saw them was at the Gates when they were gonna do their Suicide final tour with Shadows Fall, and we saw fucking, I think it was like Phil Labonte was like right in front of us. And we're like, and Steven, what the fuck, Brian Fair.
Yeah. They were. They were hanging out.
But then I remember they fucking killed it then. But then like, fast forward like almost 10 years, I remember seeing them in Brighton, and it almost seemed like it was like a cover band doing Toxic Holocaust, but it was them. Because his voice wasn't as raspy. It was almost just like him singing clean vocal. Not clean, but not raspy. You know what I mean? Like that in between. I'm like...
I love how when we're at the Palladium, we've almost run into every member of Shadows Fall at this point.
Right.
Because we were at Obituary, and Matt Bichon and John Donay were next to us. And I was like, Doug! I'm like, dude, it's the guitar players from Shadows Fall, and they were just wasted. It was great.
And I look over
and
I
went up.
like...
I went up. I remember. But I remember coming down the staircase, and John was coming up, and I was just like, hey man, I was like, I just wanted to say, I was like, huge fan since I was a kid. I was like, I love what you're doing in Anthrax, and he was like, dude, thank you so much. Shook my hand, like.
He's friends with Brian and shit, which I didn't realize. Like Namick's brother.
Oh really?
Yeah, somehow they know each other because he's like,
Sean
oh yeah,
Donay.
my buddy, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh
Yeah.
you know, so I'm like, oh okay.
Interesting.
It's weird how like everyone like that
man,
with like 3 degrees of separation.
Well, and
kinda,
they're
like,
they're from Mass, so they're local. They're in this new band that they're playing. They're kind of doing like this Skid Row type band, a little heavier than Skid Row, but they're doing this thing like both of them, John and him too. They got this side project. I forget the name of the band. They're decent, but again, I'm like, I listened to it once and I was like, oh, I want to get into this, and then just there's too much music. I can't.
Dude, there's so much music to.
I think I have 30 artists in my catalog. It's really, I'm just an old curmudgeon. I listen to the original bands that did the original stuff from the original.
I'll usually hop in the Jeep. Like if I'm like I'm gonna be away from my phone for 20 minutes. Like I'm doing cement or something. Like it's like Offspring Smash or like Anthrax Among the Living, or like Ride the Lightning. They're like you go to those albums where like, all right, if I listen to something new,
Comfort Zone album.
Comfort Zone albums, yeah.
Man, I gotta listen to Ride the Lightning again.
But like, it depends on what you're driving too. Like, you drive a Jeep, you know, you need something with some balls.
That's true.
Because everybody else is fucking loser.
They're all just
no.
Jeeps are inferior. We're gonna go.
No, like I drive a fucking black Wrangler, and like it just like
we're gonna have crews.
Like when the roof is off, like when it's nice out and I take the roof off.
You mean the freedom panels?
Yeah, when I take off my freedom panels, as soon as they come off, like it just. The car wants to have Cannibal Corpse come out of it. It does. Like it's like it's asking for it. Those come off and it's like dun 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 dun.
It's true.
Immediately.
Hey, speaking of Obituary, what'd you guys think of the new record?
I fucking love the new record.
It's good, man.
I actually haven't listened to the new Obituary.
It's so goddamn heavy and angry.
It's so solid.
I started listening to it and I don't know what the fuck happened. It was fucking. I got two kids.
Got it in Dolby. It's in Dolby Atmos, too.
Oh, I don't know if that
matters,
cool.
but it does. If you listen to it in Dolby, it's very good.
Is that surround sound stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty much like surround sound. Yeah.
Dude, I love the new album. It's probably my favorite since like
very cool
like,
artwork,
like Back from the Dead.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys are into Bell Witch at all, but I mean it's really good.
Doom, super slow, fucking Doom.
Just two. I mean their one song records are typically an hour and a half long.
Yeah. I've seen them play 2 songs once at fucking once, and it took literally an hour.
And on that note.
But anyway, go catch cars.
We're gonna clear the room, so thank you for listening. I mean, we were all over the place. We apologize. There was a lot going on in this podcast, so it feels like it was like a bunch of squirrels looking for nuts in a tree.
No, I think it's more coherent than we think, but not at all at the same time. So
we talked about. We went from like Rice Krispies to talk. You know, it's like. I'll bring it full circle to Exodus. We sound like the intro on
Deranged.
On Deranged, yeah.
I just had a nice salad.
Potato. Yeah. I like baked potatoes. Yeah.
Chives.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, this is Kev.
Thank you for listening to the Burn Podcast.
We're not here, Paul.
We're not. Oh, there it is.